Hey everybody, welcome to Philosophy on the Couch. I'm your host Jordan.
And I'm your host, Ryan. This episode, we cover philosophical advice, binge watching TV, and word pronunciation. Stick around.
Well, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Jordan?
I've been baking bread.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
How's that going?
pretty good.
Is this first time baking bread, or have you done that, fairly often?
For me personally, first time.
Wow.
Yeah. Lauren has a bread machine that she uses a lot. I've never used that. And yeah, I saw a video on YouTube and I was like, I could do that.
So you didn't use a bread machine then? This is totally from scratch.
From scratch by hand.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
And
potato
it turned
bread.
out
Yeah.
potato bread. So how many potatoes went into this loaf of bread?
Well, I've done it twice, right?
Okay.
The first one, I think I put in I don't know. It was like a couple small ones and one probably normal size, baseball sized red potatoes is what I was using.
Okay.
And, I peeled them and,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, all that. And, yeah,
But it worked out.
it worked out.
That's cool. I did a little bit of when COVID first came around, and
Mm-hmm.
for work we kind of got sent home for a little while, and
Right.
I did a little bit of sourdough
Mm-hmm.
bread making, and so I had a sourdough starter, named it Wallace,
Oh.
and because you're supposed to name them, I guess, because you can keep them around for generations.
Right.
I did not let Wallace die.
Uh-oh.
Because I didn't want to keep feeding him all the time. I wasn't baking enough bread to make it worthwhile.
That's fair.
But it was cool because I would feed Wallace, and anytime that he was out on the counter, the kids would run up and be like, Wallace!
What did you feed Wallace?
Flour. So really your starter is just a mix of some kind of flour,
Mm-hmm.
unbleached. So I did mine with whole wheat.
Sure.
And whole wheat flour and water, leave it at room temp, and you're basically harvesting wild yeast.
Yep.
And you just, every so often, you're adding more flour, pretty much equal parts flour and water. Not everybody follows that. There's some differences in what people like to do.
Sure, variations.
Yeah, and but that's how I did it, and it worked well. I probably baked 2 or 3 loaves, and I was not great at it.
Okay.
It was tough to get the right consistency.
Sure.
I don't think I was adding enough water on the recipes that I was
Okay.
using.
So it was really dense?
Really dense.
Okay.
Yeah. And I wasn't getting enough of I can't even remember what it's called, but the rise that you get in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
Not the rise beforehand,
Sure.
but your oven pop, essentially.
Yeah.
Wasn't getting enough of that. And so part of it, I think, was just I wasn't getting enough moisture that I had the elasticity
Yeah.
of it going in
Sure.
to the baking part of it.
That's fair.
So
Okay.
it's a pretty complex process sometimes, making bread, but it's not so complicated that you shouldn't try it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a trial and error thing.
it totally is.
So-
And the nice thing with it, most of the ingredients are ultra cheap.
Right.
So
Oh,
if
yeah.
you mess up a loaf of bread, you're like, well, that was like a couple cups of flour, some water.
Right.
If you buy some, active dry yeast or something like that, that's
Right.
pretty affordable.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then maybe a little salt. It really doesn't have to be much more than that.
No. But yeah, it was a little phase I went through,
Nice.
trying to make some artisan bread.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm
but-
going through it now, so I
Yeah.
feel you.
Well, hopefully it turns out better for you than it did me.
I mean,
didn't
I
stick
think
with
it tastes pretty good, what I've made so far.
Yeah, I had no problem with the taste of mine.
Mm-hmm. Just
The
texture.
crumb wasn't getting correct. And
The
if you don't know
crumb.
what the crumb is out there, it's essentially, when you talk about the density of the bread, it's
Yeah.
when you look at a slice of bread and the different air pockets and things like that, that's what
Yeah.
we're referring to when we say the crumb.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I feel like mine probably doesn't have, but I mean, also at the same point, I'm like, it's potato bread. I feel like
I
it's
think that's
supposed to be.
naturally more dense. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
because we're talking about this, I'm going to show you a picture of the crumb
Okay.
because I have a picture because a friend of mine, an avid listener, Max, shout out,
Whoop whoop.
asked me about it the first time I made it and totally had not taken a picture, and we ate it really quickly. The
Sure.
boys devoured it that day. So here's a picture of the crumb.
That's a good crumb. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Yeah.
Yeah,
For the second time making a loaf of bread,
yeah,
that's pretty dang good crumb.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll
I
make
mean
you a
it.
loaf. I'll make you a loaf.
Okay, sounds good. So, I'm just wondering if we have any listeners who are avid bread makers,
Ooh, yes.
who are like, these are the tips and tricks. You have to do it this way. Try this. All that. Send us a loaf.
Or
And
a
we'll check out the
recipe.
crumb.
Or send us a picture even.
Yeah,
I'd be fine with a
whatever.
picture. I mean, I'd be cool with a loaf too. But
Yeah, I mean, so I'd have to feel like you weren't trying to kill us. I don't feel like we have any reason somebody would be. I don't know.
we're very confrontational here.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Bringing up all the hot button topics, ticking people off.
yeah.
I mean, when we talk pie versus cake, that could be pretty offensive
It could
to
be.
someone.
Somebody might really like cake.
Yeah, I don't know who, but
But anyway, talking about making stuff, we're gonna make some cheese at some point.
yeah,
I just bought the rennet, so
yeah. It's undecided what type of cheese
yeah.
we're gonna shoot for.
Maybe you guys should email us or tweet us.
Should we do a vote?
Yeah. Well, no. Just throw in what you want or what you
Yeah,
think we
throw
should
in
make.
your type. So you can do that, or
Do you have anything that we wouldn't make? I would say blue cheese.
I think that would be tough
I don't even
to
think.
start with.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say not necessarily for the toughness of it. I think I would say just because I'm not a huge blue cheese fan.
Yeah, well, that's not my fault. I'm not a huge blue cheese fan either, but I do like blue cheese in the right settings.
Yeah, with wings.
Not just with wings. I'll eat it on its own with like a cracker.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think there's a certain point where every man becomes a man and they start to eat blue cheese that way.
Oh, I see. Unbelievable.
No, it's been a developing taste
Sure.
of mine.
Okay.
Started with blue cheese dressing with wings,
Right.
then moving into different types of blue
Sure.
cheese.
So are you talking like crumbled blue cheese? Like
No.
off a block?
Well, it's not necessarily crumbled right off of the block, but
Sure.
yeah, there's different types of blue cheese out there that are better than others
Okay.
and stronger in flavor too.
Okay.
Real stinky stuff.
Mm.
It's the stuff you want.
All right. Well, I'll take your word for that.
Very blue because you got to eat the mold.
Yeah. Mm.
But no, I think we should stick with.
I don't want to do mozzarella.
Yeah, well, that's fine. It's probably a good place to start.
Probably is. But
You can do that really easily.
I know, and that's kind of why I don't want to, even though it's probably like a confidence boost. Like, oh yeah, I made this great mozzarella. I still don't want to. I want something else.
Do you have a place to store this cheese?
Yeah, sure.
Like a nice, cool, dark root cellar?
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you've got tips and tricks on making cheese too, we'll take that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're probably just going to roll with it, and
Go with
if
something.
if it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only die from cheese once, so might as well
Yeah.
just do it.
It's like mushrooms. They're all edible once.
They're all edible once, yes.
Gosh.
But that doesn't mean go out and eat them because
Yes.
we don't want people to die because of Jordan.
Yeah, that would be
So-
bad. Don't do that, guys.
Yeah.
If you forage for mushrooms frequently, you know what's good and what's not.
Right,
And if you're unsure, just don't eat it.
right. And that's why you can come to us for advice.
Yeah.
So something fun, speaking of advice, that we're going to be doing in the next episode or two.
Mm-hmm.
We want you guys to feel free to ask us anything. And part of that is asking us for advice. If we feel like we can give you some good, solid
Yes.
advice on any subject. And so next couple of weeks, we're going to do that. So send in anything you need advice on, or if you have friends or family who have something they just need to talk it out with somebody, get our opinion.
Yeah.
We're very open to giving our opinion.
Yes.
And,
we're wise.
Yeah. It's
the wisdom abounds here.
part of what we're about with Philosophy on the Couch.
Exactly.
So we do have one example letter for you.
All right, let's do it.
Legitimate letter coming in from one of our listeners,
Okay.
and it's addressed to you, Jordan.
Oh, perfect.
So this gives you a good example of how this kind of will play out, and yeah, we're looking forward to it. Just make sure that you email us, contact us somehow, hit us up on Twitter, whatever.
Philosophy OTC is our Twitter handle and Instagram handle, or philosophyotc@gmail.com is our email. Hit us up there.
So here's the letter. Dear Jordan, I need your advice. I listen to the podcast regularly, and I feel like I'm legitimately part of the conversation, so I trust you as a resource for help. My name is also Ryan, so I feel like I'm actually on the show with you. I know you've been talking about pie recently, and that topic really hits home. My wife won't bake a pie for me, and I need some help backing up my pie request from a philosophical perspective. Signed, Pieless in Minnesota.
Wow. Well, that's a heavy subject, but first off, let me just say, Ryan, glad to have you be a part of the show.
Yeah. I think it's really nice, Ryan, for you to feel like you're on the show consistently.
Exactly.
But you know what I like about this?
What's that?
He said his name in the letter.
Yeah.
But he signed it Pieless in Minnesota like it was anonymous.
Well, you know, so be it.
Don't have his last name.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't be right anyways.
Probably not.
But I think we need to give Pieless some advice.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start since it was directed to me.
Yeah, I think you should.
What can you do to, encourage your wife to make more pie? Because that's essentially what it's asking, right? Because he feels like he's got a lack.
Sure.
He's had a lack of pie. That's a tough one.
So you're saying what can he do?
Yeah.
That helps encourage his wife to make more pie.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way to look at it, Pieless.
That's what I mean, that's where I would start. You got to start internally here.
Sure.
It's easy to blame others for our problems or our shortcomings.
It is. Some would probably ask this individual, why haven't you made a pie for yourself?
Yeah.
And that's a good point. But I don't know if we should be encouraging love for oneself in a selfish manner as much as being open to being loved by his wife by her making him a pie.
Sure. You know what you could start by doing? No, maybe, object in motion stays in motion, right?
Sure.
So, make a pie together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Make it like
That's really romantic.
Yeah, make it like a fun date.
Sure.
You could totally do that. And people might be like, yeah, that's super fun. You guys make a pie together. You can make that fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get some music going, especially if you already have all this stuff. I mean, there's a couple ways you could go about it. You could just get all this stuff out, right? Just so it's ready. You got like a big old thing of flour and you got your butter out and all that. Or I think the better option would be to pre-measure everything. So it's really easy because then there's no like, oh, crud, like, oh, she's not following the recipe or, whatever, because you've already got it already measured out. So all you got to do is really mix it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Make it simple.
Make it simple.
Sure. So
it takes a lot of the stress off immediately because it's not, like I said, you're not, where's this measuring cup or, what did you do with that? Or,
right.
It's already ready to go. All you got to do is put the stuff in the bowl, for your crust,
Yeah.
Peel the apples.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a great idea. Personally, I just want to answer you, Pieless, in Minnesota from my perspective. So this is me, like I'm talking to myself.
Perfect.
Okay. I just want to address this from. Have you heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Jordan?
I've heard of it.
Sure. So basically, the idea that once basic needs are met,
Mm-hmm.
you continue up this pyramid into higher and higher things needed from the perspective of you're going to start with basic needs and then you're going to move on to psychological needs and then self-fulfillment needs. So it's this psychological factor of you got to start with the basics.
Sure.
And underneath basic needs for all humanity, food, water, warmth, and rest. And food is part of that. So if you don't have food, you can't move on to those other things. So just, talking to this person who wrote this letter like it was me who wrote this letter.
Right. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I, validate their need for this pie.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair. What kind of pie does it say?
No, it doesn't say what kind.
So it could even be a savory pie. Like a pot pie. Chicken pot pie.
Could be a pot pie. But if I were to guess, I'm thinking more along the lines of a fruity pie. Like, I don't know. Raspberry.
Oh, raspberry, huh?
Might be.
Huh.
Yeah, I'd take rhubarb though.
Would you?
Yeah.
Just straight rhubarb? Not a combo?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a little tart.
It is tart, but that's why you have a lot of sugar.
Well, I suppose.
And love. That's the other thing with pies. If somebody bakes you a pie, you know that they love you. So
Wow.
I think this this person is really just needing this pie to really feel like they're loved.
Well, good luck with that, Ryan. Pieless in Minnesota.
Yeah. Good luck. You know what? I think, unfortunately, Jordan's advice is probably much better. So bake it yourself or do it together.
Date night. Make a date night.
Date night or do it yourself. We're going to be honest. We're going to be real. We're going to give it to you straight.
Yeah.
That's how it is. So that's one example. But we want to make, an episode with a bunch of these in it. Yeah. So send them in. Whatever you have. Whatever questions you need advice on. We're here for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Looking forward to it.
Me too.
It's going to be fun.
It will be fun.
Yeah.
Also, you know what else is fun? Binge watching TV.
This is true.
But do you think it's better to binge watch or watch a show as it comes out, assuming that it's a show that releases on a weekly basis?
That's a good question. The fun part about binge watching is you really are absorbed in the storyline. And it all fits perfectly.
Right. Well, as perfectly as they make it.
Sure. The fun part of watching it weekly is you have something to look forward to.
Yeah, anticipation. It's like Christmas.
Every week.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, no, I think that if I was going to say what's better, I would say that we would be, as a culture, watching something every week versus binge watching. I just think for me, as much as I've done binge watching of different series, I've wasted a whole lot of time. That should be that. Yeah, because I can. So you sit down and all of a sudden, especially if they're a half-hour show, you sit down and all of a sudden you're 2.5 hours in. Yeah, because they're so short that you just don't realize the time is adding up. Otherwise, yeah. I mean, I appreciate being able to binge watch.
Yeah. So you like the Netflix release style?
I like it, yeah. But then I also feel like you're kind of stuck without something every once in a while.
It's true. If they don't have multiple seasons, if it's not a show that's already aired.
Right.
Yeah. And on the same side of that, right? Like you also feel like the need to watch it because you're like, well, I've got all the episodes and I know everyone else is going to be binge watching this.
Sure.
So I guess I'm going to stay up till 2 a.m.
Watch them as fast as you can.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think you're kind of left, like with an emptiness there because you're like, well, now I can talk about it with people, but then I also want more.
Right.
Because so often you're like, man, that was such a great series, especially if it was a good one, right? You're like, man, why can't they continue it? Why haven't they made the second season yet or the 8th season, whatever.
Right. I hate to say it, but there are times where I've almost gotten a little depressed feeling because it's this,
Yeah.
especially when you've jumped on board to this later on, and you've got multiple seasons that you're watching,
Right.
and then you get to the end of it, and it's like nothing.
Yep.
You just feel this hole,
Yeah.
and you get over it, obviously, but it's just weird because it's not part of your routine anymore.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, I've experienced that multiple times watching The Office. You get to the end of the series, and it's like, now what? Because you spend so much time with
Sure.
the characters, essentially, that
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. But
You
yeah,
almost build a relationship, even though
it's
it's
one-way relationship.
yeah.
But
But it feels like
I
you
mean,
could like, oh yeah, like I work in that office.
right. Kind of. I mean, I have tried to bring aspects of The Office to my office.
Yeah. How's that worked out for you?
Pretty well, actually.
Okay.
I haven't done anything that's going to get me fired, obviously.
Sure.
Which happened all the time on the show. But no, I think I've got a lot of quotes hanging up in my office.
Okay.
I try to make things light and
Mm-hmm.
say stupid things every once in a while that are, not something that's going to get me in trouble or anyone else or offend
Right.
somebody. So I don't say a whole lot of Michael Scott quotes because most of them were offensive. But no, I think that an argument could be made that being able to binge watch is probably not healthy.
I think that's not a hard sell at all. I think most people can agree with that fact, but still are like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
Which I can't fault anyone for that. Like, there have been shows that I've binge watched. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Yeah, what do you think would be different in our society
Mm-hmm.
if we weren't able to binge watch? If that wasn't a thing?
The problem is it's inevitable. Even if it's not, let's say, Netflix or any of the streaming services doing it, right? You could go buy the past seasons of a show that's already aired and then watch them.
Yeah, I feel like fewer and fewer people are buying the
Sure.
DVDs, but
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just because of the way technology has
Sure.
gone, right? Yeah, we've gotten away from physical mediums to cloud services and things like that. So I think, yes, but at the same side, you know what I mean? Before we had all these streaming
Right.
services, what did people do? They would buy DVDs.
They-
Generally, it would be of things that you've watched already and you really enjoyed.
right.
Because, yeah, there's a different kind of monetary investment, right? Whereas like a streaming service, you pay a monthly fee, but you have access to all
Right.
those shows. So if
Right.
you get 2 episodes in, you're like, well, that's not my thing.
Right.
It's some time lost, but not. You didn't go out and spend, $20 to $50 on, physical discs.
That sit around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's fair, but I think it could still happen. Or it still probably did. I'm sure there's plenty of people who did. Or if they had enough friends who have bought them because they like it, then they get, the first series to start watching. And then they're like, okay, yeah, this is good. And then they'll either go out and buy them themselves or they'll just borrow them from their friends who bought it because they liked it.
Right. And obviously that's all true, but at a certain point we weren't able to binge watch.
Before TV.
Well, there was TV, but you're talking about binge watching like an individual series
Sure.
at a time.
Yeah.
So what would the difference be if we just had certain things were only released once a week?
I don't
Think there'd be a difference?
I don't think there would be much of a difference.
We just watch a whole pile of different shows instead of just one or two?
Not necessarily. I think we still might just watch a couple shows, but then we would rewatch things.
Sure. We would just rewatch the old ones.
Yeah. I think that's what would happen.
It's kind of what we do anyways, honestly.
Yeah.
Rewatch a lot of old stuff.
I mean, I know I do.
Right.
I almost prefer it because I know what I'm getting
Sure.
So it's like, oh yeah, I like this series a lot.
Right.
There's always like little things you can maybe pick up on that you didn't notice before, but
So you think binge watching was entirely inevitable with a visual media of any sort?
as long as there's recordings that you can like obtain to
Yep.
watch, I think so.
So the recording would be the key.
Yeah. If it
Recording
was
or
like,
streaming, one of the two is the key.
yeah, if it was like only like, live TV, even if it was like a recorded show, that they
Right.
shot and, did like that. But if there was no like DVR and it was only TV and there was no VCRs to record on or anything like that, I think that's probably like the only way you could, if there was no way to record.
So what do you think the effects of binge watching have been, other than wasted time? Because that's pretty obvious.
Sure.
I mean, we waste a lot of time doing that. But what are the other effects?
What would the implications be if we didn't have that? I don't know. It's hard to say because we've already opened Pandora's box with it.
Sure.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are mental, health effects to it. It's like TV in general, right? Especially it's like that hit of what's
Endorphins,
dopamine?
cocaine,
No,
dopamine.
is it dopamine? I don't know.
Mm.
I mean, your brain releases chemicals, right? When you see something or get excited about something, or and then you have this huge, like, let's say you get a 2-season release of something, right? Or you find a show that people are like, oh, this is amazing,
Right.
and you really fall in love with it, and then you binge it for 2 seasons that have like, they're hour-long episodes, and it's you watch the show for 20 hours. Not necessarily straight, but some people have done that.
Right.
And it's like, you get like that. You get that high almost.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you're off of it. And I mean, we kind of already talked about this, right? It's like that hole.
Yeah.
And you're just like, man, like something's wrong. So then you're looking for the next high. Which show is going to get you back to,
Right.
You know what I mean? I think it's almost an addiction.
Right.
In, a certain aspect.
Right. Right. No.
Because I
would agree.
Yeah, you just want that.
You've got withdrawals.
I mean, you can.
I mean, not to the
Right.
extent of like physical,
Right.
but you probably have some sort of
Mm-hmm.
psychological,
Yeah.
things happening.
Yeah. And I wonder, how damaging it really is.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to know.
Yeah.
So, if you guys want to do the legwork on that.
Yeah. I don't know.
So what show are you binge watching right now, Jordan?
We're not really binging it. The show that we have started watching is American Horror Story, which I don't know, we're only 4 episodes in, so
Sure.
it's okay. I mean, I like that genre of TV and movie, so
Okay.
I enjoy it, but
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not currently binge watching anything either.
Yeah.
Typically we'll watch 1 episode a night of something, and
Yep.
that's pretty much it at this point.
Life is busy.
Yeah, and by the time you're done watching an episode, if it's, 45 minutes to an hour long,
Yep. You're tired.
time for bed.
Yeah, tired. Especially, I mean, for me, it's not as big of a deal because I don't work, so I could easily. I mean, most nights I do stay up pretty late,
Sure.
but I don't have a job to go to. Like, I wake up and I take the boys to school and stuff like that. But I mean, that's not a hard thing to do. And then I've got the house to myself. So, all right, guys. Here's a quick word from our sponsor.
Today's episode is sponsored by your local low-voltage plumbing supply and general store, where you'll receive cushy discounts on all of your favorite brand name headphones. Our seriously talented and twirling associates are there to assist you 11 hours a day. Here, you will find silky prices on the Crocs you need, trash cans for the moms, nose hair trimmers for the kids, and all the latest electronics for the grandparents. So come on down to your stylish and crazy cool low-voltage plumbing supply and general store where the Dolphins come first, and Philosophy on the Couch listeners get a 110% discount on all items.
Awesome, guys. Well, welcome back from that word from our sponsor, Low Voltage Plumbing Supply.
Yeah, sounds like a great place.
110% discount. They pay you to take stuff. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, guys, I think one thing that we've talked about in the past, I think we finally have enough words to do pronunciation on. So we've got a big list here, and we'll see how fast we get through them. I'm not going to put a time limit on anything, but we're also not going to spend too much time on any one, probably.
Sure.
Because the list is extensive.
Yeah,
so
it's a big list.
Awesome.
All right.
Ryan's going to read them off, and then I'll say whether or not I agree or, or what the correct way is actually to say the words.
Right. And some of these are coming from, this might be how this word is pronounced differently in different places in the country.
Okay.
Even.
Sure.
So not all of them are going to be a word that is hotly debated as much as that's just how people say it.
Sure.
The first one that's not on the list, but it's one that I know I said tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I have to add that.
Okay.
Root or root?
Root. For sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, root.
Really? Why is that?
Just is.
See, I also say root, but I believe in the people who say it's supposed to be root. Root? But, yeah.
It's root. Next.
Okay. All right.
Are these in any kind of order, or are they just random?
Just random.
Okay.
Bin or Ben?
Like
you've been somewhere or you've been somewhere?
Oh. Been. Yeah, I've been there. Oh, I don't know. I guess I would say. Oh, see, there we go. Ben. I've been there. Been there, done that.
Been there. I've been there. I think I used both. I'm on the fence.
Oh,
I'm on the fence again.
I think that one's probably a little more situational for me, but I probably tend to go with Ben more than bin.
Sure. All right. This one I think should be obvious to most people. I'm not sure why it's on the list.
Okay.
So if you say this differently, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to judge you. I'm just surprised.
Okay.
Picture or pitcher?
Picture.
This is why I said that I didn't want to offend people, but I was surprised that it was there.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I've heard people say that, but yeah, no.
All right, we'll see if I can get this one right. Drawer or drawer?
Drawer. So obviously you say drawer as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to say drawer.
Drawer.
Yeah, I think
that's so lazy.
Probably a southern thing.
Yeah, let's go look in the drawers.
And they're probably listening down in the southern states like, wow, this idiot up there.
Yeah.
Drawer. Yeah. So I can't even, this next one, I can't even
we'll just
say the opposite way of what it would be said.
Okay.
Bag.
Oh, yeah, no, it's bag. Bag.
Yeah. Is that the other way to say it?
I don't know how to say it. It's bag.
Yeah, but it is to us.
Well, we're right, so.
Okay. Lilac or lilac?
Lilac.
See, I feel like I'm both depending on the sentence structure.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I feel like if I'm saying it in a plural sense.
Lilac bushes. I would
Lilac
never
bushes?
say. Yeah, I would never say lilac bushes.
But would you say lilacs or lilacs?
I don't know. The more we say these
La
words,
la
the
la la
less
la la la.
the less meaning they all
I
have.
know.
I would probably tend to say lilacs, though, almost always.
Sure. Next one.
Yep.
Iron or iron?
Iron. What?
I don't know. I'm just reading it. And the way that it says that it's pronounced different places.
Iron. Again, that's definitely not our area of
No.
the country. I'd say it that way. Side note on this one, iron, IRON.
Right.
My first duty station for the military, we had these things, and they were called irons. And it's spelled IRON. It stood for Inner Range Operations Number.
Sure.
But I don't know why they didn't call them irons. They were like irons. It's a normal thing, you know?
Sure.
But interesting.
I'm sure there was a reason.
I'm sure they're because people were arguing between iron and iron.
Caramel or caramel?
Caramel. Even though we've discussed this in the past.
Yeah. And I think it comes down to how fancy is it?
Is it an envelope or an envelope?
That's exactly how I view it. If it's really fancy, then it must be a caramel. If it's not, that's just a caramel.
Okay.
Yeah. Syrup or syrup?
Syrup.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've actually had people get after me for saying syrup.
Really?
Yeah.
Who says
it's syrup?
Who says that?
I don't remember. I just know that people have been like,
Wow.
Yeah.
Snobs.
judgy.
Yeah.
Definitely not like we are.
No. We're right. So, I mean, that's
Oh,
what makes the
okay.
difference. Correct.
Well, also, in high school, I remember this one specifically that I was told that I said it incorrectly.
Okay.
Warm versus warm.
I would say warm.
Warm.
Yeah.
Sure. And I typically end up saying warm.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know
Warm.
where it comes from.
Warm.
Yeah.
No, warm.
Warm, like a worm.
Close to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I feel like you guys are wrong.
Maybe. Probably not, though.
All right. Pajamas or pajamas?
Pajamas. For sure.
Depends on how fancy they are.
Silken and embroidered.
It's a pajama.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I say pajamas.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Similar to that,
Mm-hmm.
Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah. I'm with that too.
Yep.
Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah?
Because that's how it is.
Sure.
That's
I can get on board with that.
the one exception, and I know everybody in Oregon's going to be like, you're
The
dumb.
trail?
Yep. Oregon Trail.
Yep.
It's just weird saying Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
It's gotten less weird over the years when I lived up there
Right.
and just being, having family up in the Northwest.
Yep.
Saying it isn't as weird as it used to be,
Sure.
but it's Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon.
I'd jump on that.
Yep.
Caribbean.
Context. Pirates of the Caribbean, otherwise almost always Caribbean. I would say. Yep.
Yeah. I'd take
I think that
either.
one's, I don't know. Yeah. A little more interchangeable, though.
Right.
Because I wouldn't say I was going on a cruise to the Caribbean. I would say I'm going on a cruise to the Caribbean.
Sure.
But if somebody said that, I wouldn't be like, wow, that's just horrible,
Right.
But yeah. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on that. What else you got?
All right. This one,
Mm-hmm.
again, I think this is definitely a regional thing.
Okay.
Aunt or aunt?
Aunt.
An aunt is typically what I would say. I do have family members who say aunt.
So do I.
And there's a book.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? It's where the letters climb up a tree. They fall out of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
You know what book I'm talking about?
Nope.
They all get hurt.
Wow. Sounds like a
Yeah.
violent
Boom
book.
chicka boom boom. Or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't read that in a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And there's one line where you have to say ants for it to rhyme.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
How dare they?
Yeah.
I guess I just would not make that book rhyme then.
Because otherwise it says mamas and papas and uncles and aunts pick up the little letters and dust their ponds. That's what it says if you don't read it as ants.
Ponce.
Yeah. We talked about this already.
Mm-hmm.
Pecan, all those different, we talked about that when it came to the
Yeah.
pies.
Yeah. I mean, pecan.
Pecan. All right, let's see.
I was actually talking with one of our listeners, a good friend of mine, Michael, and he said that no, even in reference to pies, it's not pecan.
Yeah?
It's pecan. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's entitled to correct you.
Yeah. I've got one for you.
Okay.
Jalapeno or jalapeno?
Oh, jalapeno.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Or is it jalapeno?
No. Nope. Jalapeno, for sure.
Yeah.
I felt wrong. I felt physically sick even saying jalapeno. So
Yeah. I feel like everybody should be on board with that by now.
you would think.
Yeah. All right. Mayonnaise or mayonnaise?
I feel like I didn't hear much of a difference there, but I would say
Mayonnaise?
Yep.
Or mayonnaise?
Mayonnaise.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Mayonnaise versus
Yeah,
mayonnaise.
I think if you say mayonnaise quickly, though, it all kind of blends into mayonnaise.
Wow.
Right?
Mayonnaise blends into mayonnaise. Crazy.
Cauliflower or cauliflower?
Cauliflower.
Yeah, I agree. Cauliflower. 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 All right. Coyote.
Coyote.
I feel
Unless
like coyote's short.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say unless I was... Yeah.
Also, yote.
No.
No. Too short.
This is weird.
Let's see. Groceries or groceries?
Groceries.
Yeah. I also say that. We're going to agree with most of these because we're from the same region.
Yeah. It's true.
So we need you guys to disagree with us. So when you're sending in your questions for advice,
Yeah.
just do PS. You're wrong about this word. You're incorrect.
Pillow or pillow?
Pillow. It's like the milk question.
Well, it is, but still, people say pillow.
Right.
I don't, but...
I envision a pillow being fluffier than a pillow. A pillow similar to like a marshmallow. and a pillow being for like sleeping on.
Oh. So one you eat and the other you use as...
Well, I mean, you use them both for sleeping, but a pillow is just more round in shape and less flat.
Okay.
That's how I envision it.
So it's just like one of those like stuffed like pillow balls.
Kind of.
Like a basketball. That's
yeah.
But
Well,
it's
not really
pillow.
a basketball. Really, truly in a marshmallow shape.
So just like a cylinder.
Kind of, yeah, and that's a pillow.
Doesn't even make
That
sense
is
to me.
going to be patented and copyrighted.
The pillow.
The pillow. Yeah.
Mellow pillow.
Yeah, those are the yellow ones. Yellow mellow pillow. Mellow yellow pillow. Anyways.
No, that's trademarked art. I feel like we said we had a lot and we don't have that many.
Let's
Or do you have
see if I
more?
can pronounce this right. We're not quite. We're about halfway.
Oh, okay.
Crayon or crayon?
Crayon.
Crayon.
It's one syllable.
Crayon.
Crayon. Crayon.
Crayon. I say the crayon. I have two syllables in mine, I think.
Really?
Crayon. 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 Yeah. I think it slides in there a little bit.
Nope. Crayon.
Crayon. Like cranberries.
Exactly.
Crayon berries.
Gross. A little waxy for my palate.
Yeah. Mirror or mirror?
I want to look at myself in the mirror.
You had more of a mirror to
Yeah.
it than a mirror.
Mirror.
Mirror. Like a meerkat. Not a mirror cat.
Right.
Subtle differences here.
Mm.
Yes.
Often or often?
I think that I probably said often
Mm-hmm.
more often. But now I think I say often
Really?
more often. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think that's been a shift in my life.
Well, you should probably revert
So you say often?
often. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. No doubt. Often.
Yeah. I think I've slowly pretty sure I went to the often side of things.
Mm.
Which I think is
Disappointing.
probably the correct way.
No?
Why? What makes often correct?
What makes often correct?
It's spelled that way.
Yeah, but you know how the English language works.
It doesn't.
Exactly.
That's why I have to use it correctly when I can.
Subjective.
Did you say correctly or correctly?
Correctly.
So you should say often.
No.
You should say often correctly.
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 There's no T.
I don't often use the word correctly. Let's see. Mischievous or mischievous?
I feel like those kind of are different. I feel like they are. I mean, I would probably say mischievous, though.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. If I were like, yeah. Just,
This next one, I think will get everybody just up in arms because this is a big one.
Okay.
Coupon? Coupon.
Coupon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm on the coupon side as well.
That's right.
Anybody out there say coupon? Because your first letter for advice is how to change from coupon to coupon.
Oh, boy.
But that's, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty
Yeah.
varied one as well.
For
People say
sure.
a lot of different, one of those two ways, but it's,
Yeah.
I don't think it's regional even that much.
I don't think it is either. I think it's
So-
kind of more what you grew up with,
Right.
for sure. Accurate or accurate?
Accurate.
Yeah, accurate.
Yeah. But is it precise? Never mind. You can delete that. It was a joke.
Yeah, I know it was.
Okay.
Again, the joke was not lost on me, Ryan.
Well, you just stared at me, so.
Because it wasn't funny.
All right. This one's interesting.
Okay.
Creek? Crick.
Oh, creek. For
Yeah.
sure. I feel like that's a more regional one as well.
Yep.
I feel like the
Definitely.
South would say crick. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. I would agree. Handkerchief? Handkerchief.
Handkerchief.
I also say chiff. Chiff, chiff, chiff. Handkerchief.
Hammock or hammock?
So I think that's something where I say hammock,
Okay.
but I think that I'm slowly moving into hammock.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Hammock.
Yeah. I think that,
Although I know for, like, just thinking back to, like, my childhood,
yeah.
definitely grew up saying hammock.
Yeah.
But hammock is how I've,
Right. Matured.
yeah,
Yeah.
grown.
Been, more cultured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. Enough.
Adult or adult?
Adult. When would I ever use adult?
I think I would use adult when I want to be condescending to other adults. Are
So
you so
constantly.
instead of saying like we're all the adults in the room, it would be like, are you the adult in the room?
Sure.
Because you're not acting like it. That kind of a thing.
Mm,
So.
that's fair.
Huh. All right. So apparently this one is regional to very specific region.
Mm.
Asterisk is sometimes also called asterix in a specific region in the
Yeah.
US, the Northeast.
I've heard both of them
Yeah?
said. Yeah.
Well,
It's an asterisk.
yeah,
That's what it is.
right.
I
That's
also
where I fall.
I also feel like people who say asterisks are are generally like younger kids.
Sure.
Because I feel like I said
Wow,
asterisks when
kind
I
of
was.
harsh to the northeastern corner of the U.S.
Sorry, guys. But for real, like I remember, I'm sure, like I know I've said asterisks, but I feel like I was like a teenager.
Sure, didn't even know what it was.
Asterisks?
Yeah, at
It,
that
like,
point, when you're using that term, it's like,
yeah,
what is that?
it's the star.
Yeah.
Yeah, asterisk.
Okay, fair enough. Realtor or realtor?
Realtor.
Realtor?
Yeah, not realtor.
Realtor.
Realtor. I don't know. Maybe I would
Realtor.
say realtor.
I think it's a mix. I think I say a really lazy realtor by going realtor. Realtor. Like it's in there a little bit, but it's not the straight realtor. It's realtor. Real there's all in there a little bit. Realtor. Real. Yeah.
Actually, I feel like I'm gonna go back. I actually say that I probably say realtor.
Yeah.
That's
I think it probably depends on how honest they are. If they're just a slimy realtor, or if they're they're a very professional realtor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's got to be what it is. I don't know. Quarter or quarter?
Quarter.
So
Quarter.
There's no "w" sound in it for you. Just
No.
quarter.
Quarter. Yeah.
Give me a quarter.
Cotta.
Quarter.
No. Quarter. Quarter. No, that sounds wrong. Quarter.
I think I probably say quarter. I think I should say probably quarter.
I don't think you should,
Why?
because you're correct the way you are.
It's QU. I don't say kick when I'm trying to say quick. There's a U after a Q, therefore it must be quarter.
I totally understand it, and I think you're probably right,
Yeah.
but no.
Yeah. Let's see. Really or really? Really or really?
Really? Are you really asking me this?
Yeah. Yeah, I say really too. But I think it's not supposed to be really or really. It's supposed to be really. Really. Like that.
Okay.
Really. I think we're all wrong.
Yeah.
Wake up, America. Say that word correctly.
Really?
That's the problem. I'm really upset about this. All right. Route or route?
Route. I think route in that sense would only be for Route 66.
Yeah. I'm typically going to say route unless I think that it's more poetic or
Fancy.
dramatic that it needs to be route. But if it's just, straight up living life, I'm going to say
Yeah.
that's the route.
What's the quickest route?
Yeah.
You wouldn't say what's the quickest route.
No.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Agreed.
etc. or etc.
etc.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is correct.
Yeah.
But I know that I've said etc. at times.
Same.
So.
But it definitely is etc.
Right.
And espresso or espresso.
Same thing, right? It's supposed to be espresso.
But how many people say espresso?
Right.
Yeah. They're just wrong.
Yeah. We should invent something that's an espresso. And what it is you tell us your mood. We make you an espresso that's fitting.
An espresso.
Yes.
Stupid.
Get or get?
Get.
Get?
Yeah.
You say get?
Yeah.
You're going to get yourself some wings?
Yeah. I'm going to go get something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say get?
No. When you put it in that perspective, I say get sometimes. But I don't get something. I get something. I would go get something, but if someone gave me something, I get it. Does that make sense? I use them both.
No, because that would be past tense, so you got it.
Yes, but what I'm saying is if someone gives me something, I get it.
Sure. I see what you're saying.
Right. I understand the past tense implications, but we're not talking about got. Is it got or is it got?
That was the same, I think.
Let's see.
Which ones are you skipping?
I've skipped a lot.
Yeah, I know you have. What are they? Give me some. Just read down the list.
Can't or can't?
Can't?
Can't.
No, can't.
Yeah,
Next.
that's what I say too, is can't.
Well, some of these can be quick.
We're done.
That's it?
That's it.
All right.
Yeah. So
I think I got all those right.
yeah, a solid 30%. No, I agreed with you on most of them. Majority. But you know what, though? I'm going to guess there are quite a few of our listeners who don't agree with us.
Yeah.
Which is totally cool. Jordan talks about we're right and things like that. And if that applied only to me, I would say yes. But since Jordan's included in this conversation, no, for real, let us know.
Yeah. Tell us what you think the most egregious one was.
Yeah, that we say incorrectly.
Yep. I want to know.
Yeah.
Can you show me?
He wants you to show him.
I do.
So, with that, I just want to remind you, send us your questions, whether it's you, family member, friend, whatever they're going through, whatever questions you need, whatever advice. We want to hear it.
We're here for you.
Because we are gonna answer that for you.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
we'll see you guys next week.
bye.